Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us in today's this breakout room to learn about blockchain credentials, especially on learning how to share your certified skills with the world. My name is Nato Silwe. I'm a graduate student here at the University of Arkansas doing information systems as a major. So on today's topic, we will have Mr. Wengel talk to us. He is a founder and CEO of eDataFi, an information service company that help their client fight against fraud and also improve marketing efficiencies. He's also the founder of Smart Resumes, the world's first certified resume, and he will be talking to you guys a lot about that today. So please welcome Mr. Wengel and thank you.
You bet, Nada. Thank you for the warm welcome. And we're excited to talk about our Smart Resume platform. And I'm going to jump right in and share my screen. And we'll get started with a brief presentation. And then we will also demonstrate how Smart Resume works. So with Smart Resume, I think the easiest way to explain what we're doing is that we built kind of a certified LinkedIn, not only for white collar workers, but for blue collar workers and no collar workers. So if you think about LinkedIn, it was never meant to become a professional resume bin, but that's really what's happened. It was meant to be a social network, and that's what it excels at. And since there's never been kind of a certified LinkedIn, there could never be a certified Indeed.com where employers could go and find the job talent that they could trust and that they were looking for. And so that's what Smart Resume is, kind of a mashup of the two. One of the things that I hope we make clear today is just the clear leadership position that Walton College has taken in helping us get the Smart Resume off the ground. And also, what should be clear is that there's no shortcuts to building a community. If you can see in my scribbled red highlighter there at the bottom, our first meeting about Smart Resume with Dean Waller and Professor Cronin and Professor Rajiv and Professor Steelman was 3 years ago. And we've made just huge progress since that time. But I think that's something important for all the entrepreneurs out there to know is that unfortunately, there are no shortcuts to success, especially when building a community or something that's never been done before, is that we've been fortunate to have partners that have been up for the challenge. And so when you think about Smart Resume individually, one school partner is good, but to be able to really get scale, we needed to build out a broader community, but it always takes the first kind of yes. So we reached out to Dean Waller there back in May, and he and the team there were an enthusiastic yes, that they wanted to be the first college in the world to issue certified Smart Resumes to their select students and alumni as well. And once we got Walton College on board, we were able to get the Arkansas State University system, Arkansas Tech, the University of Central Arkansas, eventually the broader University of Arkansas system. And I'll kind of jump ahead as you can kind of see the progressions here. But where we are today, we have the entire University of Arkansas system, all 14 colleges on board. We have all four historically black colleges in Arkansas on board. University of Arkansas Pine Bluff is part of the UA system, and then Philander Smith, Shorter College, Arkansas Baptist on board, and other schools like North Arkansas, as I mentioned, UCA, Arkansas Tech, are part of this process. And this is really important because Arkansas has really been the perfect laboratory for us with Smart Resume to show the rest of the country, because Arkansas is small enough where we can get the majority of the largest schools to all participate in making Smart Resumes so that employers have a talent pool that they can then discover. But Nado, one of the other really important things we want to make clear today is that a Smart Resume doesn't just attest to credit-based skills or abilities or degrees or academic honors. We're also working with partners that are certifying skills without a degree. So the University of Arkansas Global Campus, for example, they have courses in back-end web development, Java development, front-end web development, And we are creating smart resumes for those individuals as well. And then even Goodwill here in Arkansas, they certify forklift operators. So they have smart resumes too. So that's kind of our goal is, whether you are a forklift operator or you're getting a PhD in computer science, we want to be able to give you a resume that differentiates you from other job applicants. But really the technology is kind of, the easy part. Don't share with my CTO that I said that. The hard part is this, it's building up a community and then leveraging, in our case, we're leveraging Hyperledger Fabric and updated to the latest iteration to help with scaling. So we're focused on building out a permission system and even a hybrid one at that. And I think that is where we're already seeing, since we started, other blockchain credential projects shutting down across the country because they couldn't get the community engagement. So again, technology is still developing, but at the end of the day, if you don't have a Walton College in your corner, you're going to have a hard time creating any kind of educational credential that will resonate. And so in addition to leveraging, the credentials on the blockchain, what we've also really been focusing on is making sure that we're demonstrating that we are an interoperable learning record, or as some call it, a comprehensive learner record. So SmartResume is one of the first three companies in the world to be able to demonstrate that the credentials that we're helping our academic partners attest to are meeting interoperability standards, and that our learners have the ability, as I'll show in a moment, to download their credentials off of SmartResume and put them into their own separate wallet. And we're perfectly happy with that. From the very beginning, we wanted and have envisioned SmartResume to be true to the chain, something that the learner is controlling, and they are not reliant on a school to forever keep their records. And so that's what SmartResume is it's a comprehensive learner record. You may also hear terms like learning and employment record. And so since there's never been these comprehensive learner records or even certified resumes, for employers, they've really struggled to find certified job talent and then quickly hire the job talent. And so, Nato, that's where we come in. So the SmartResume itself, as you see an example here on your screen, is something that both includes certified assertions by trusted academic partners, but it's something that a job seeker or someone like Nato can add in your own job objectives, your own non-verified work experience, and that's okay. So to be very clear, the only things that are going on the chain are the badged assertions from, in this case, the Office of the Registrar at the University of Arkansas, Fayetteville. So nothing the learner or job seeker adds to their resume goes on to the chain. That just goes on to the digital copy of the SmartResume. But the actual individual awards is what is on the chain. So if someone were to audit our chain for this individual, they would see that, yes, the University of Arkansas Global Campus on March 9th, 2020 at 2100 hours certified that they have a back-end web development certificate. And so that's what sets us apart, is that we're not just a badge company. Our badges are really living, breathing things where when you click on them, you're taken to the chain to see what's there. And from the kind of the categorization of what we're doing, we're focusing on about 12 different areas. So specifically at Walton College, for example, or I'll say more broadly, the University of Arkansas, Fayetteville, the UA Global Campus is certifying skills. So as I mentioned, someone who's gone through front-end web development or I think healthcare administration, certified leadership programs like Leadership Walton. People that are part of that, students that are part of that, will get a certified leadership badge. And then I won't go through all of these, but things like certified academic honors. If you've made Dean's List or President's List, Chancellor's List, graduated with honors, you'll be there. Certified coursework, anyone with a sub-plan at Walton College, so concentrations, that's on here as well. And so across the board, what we're doing with SmartResume is that it doesn't matter whether you're going to a 2-year program, so Pulaski Tech, the example here, people who have a baking certificates, they get a smart resume. People at UA Little Rock, this individual has a PhD in computer science. They were also named the top computer science PhD student of the year. So we can recognize that. And that's kind of our goal is to help individuals to be able to demonstrate the accomplishments that they've had in a way that transcripts and diplomas have totally missed throughout the years. And then a couple more slides and I'll pause, Nato, if there's any immediate questions. But I think a key to know is that what we're building here is interoperable. So if you are at the Walton College, if you are a student that's an undergrad, if you have 70 or more credit hours, there's a smart resume waiting for you. If you are a post-grad student like Nato, or if you have at least one semester under your belt, there's a smart resume waiting for you. And if you graduated from Walton College back to 1992, there's a smart resume waiting for you. But a big part of what we're doing right now is students like Nato have gone to other schools. So Nato actually has a smart resume from the University of Central Arkansas, from UCA. So we're making it easy to be able to combine UCA credentials for Nato with Walton College. Or in this case, the actual example that you see here, we're also combining teacher licensure. So someone who graduates from the U of A Fayetteville, and not in Walton College, but in the department or in the College of Education and Health Professions, we will be having a smart resume showing their U of A degree. And then they can also, that individual can pull in teacher licensure onto the same smart resume. So you won't have 5 or 6 different smart resumes. You will be able to merge in other participating colleges onto your one smart resume, and then even licensure as well. And then I'm going to pause after this slide. But the U of A system issued a press release last year announcing at the time the first 6 schools. It's now expanded from that. But Dr. Michael Moore, who's the chief academic officer, had said there's few innovations that come along that are truly beneficial to students, businesses, and institutions in a way that completely changes and improves the way things are done. So that's really our goal with Smart Resume, is to be able to help individual students, alumni, job seekers showcase their UA skills and degrees, and then make it easier for employers to contact them through our system. And we'll kind of show an example of that. Let me stop sharing for a second. And Nato, does that make any sense so far to you?
It does make a lot of sense. Thank you for sharing all those useful information with us. And I love Smart Resume on the fact that is something you opt in and you choose what you want to put on it. That makes it really, really interesting to me. So
Great. Perfect. Well, I think we don't have any chat questions. I'm going to share my screen again, Nato, and we're going to actually show Nato's smart resume because she is an all-star. So she's agreed to let me kind of show this. So bear with me one second while we jump over the screen here. Nato, can you see the smart resume on your side?
yes, I can.
Okay, so everyone out there at Walton College or graduates, as I said, if you haven't already activated, we'll send a link at the end. For Nato, what we're going to do is, and it's a simple 4-step process. So what's unique here is in the past, we've shared Walton College smart resumes. Nato graduated from the University of Central Arkansas. So her first smart resume is actually coming from UCA. So if you see here on the screen, she's just been a great student. So Nato graduated and she confirmed this is all accurate, right, Nato?
Yes, correct.
Okay,
Thank you.
so that's what we'd expect. So the registrar, just to spend a couple minutes here, because this is really a great illustration of combining, multiple awards. So Nato graduated from UCA with a major in information systems and a minor in computer science. So the registrar at UCA certified that. The registrar also certified that she graduated summa cum laude. She made president's list, it looks like a lot of times, I think 5 times, and dean's list twice. But then also what was really great with UCA and what they're doing is Dean Hargis, so Dean Waller's counterpart, Dean of Business at UCA, certified annual awards. So Nato at UCA was named the Outstanding Information Systems Student of the Year, and she was also named the Outstanding Business Information Club member. So our goal with SmartResume, and the Walton College leadership team does a great job with this. If you have been named a Walton College Student of the Year, that is on your SmartResume. If you're part of Leadership Walton, that's on SmartResume. So it's not just Dean's List or President's List or graduating summa cum laude. There's the opportunity to really showcase a lot of accomplishments, and then it's also really easy for you as someone who's received a SmartResume to add in additional resume entries. So you just click and add new entry here on Nato's. And then we've studied thousands of resumes. If you wanted to add in, a job objectives. So Nato, give me a little bit of leeway here. I'll only momentarily take over your SmartResume. If you said, I am hoping to join a fast-paced startup in Arkansas, period. She can save that. It takes less than 5 minutes for people to copy and paste their existing resume and put it into SmartResume. And then everything is drag and drop. So if you want to rearrange your SmartResume, you can do that. If something's on your SmartResume here that you don't feel is relevant, let's say you started off as a biology major and then you changed to management, you can hide things. You're not deleting anything from the blockchain. You're just hiding them from currently showing. But as I mentioned earlier, it's really important to know that this SmartResume is yours. We're never going to charge you. This is yours to save as a PDF to send out. You can also download any of the badges and put them into your own credential wallet. So what you see just happening there is that's a real-time check of our chain. So an employer has the ability to click on any of your SmartResume badges and see that, yes, the Office of the Registrar certified that she did graduate last year, and you can see that it was certified this year on June 18th, 2021. And then Nato has the ability to actually download the individual badge and then take it off SmartResume. So if you don't like the way we're using SmartResume, but you like the badges, you are totally empowered to do that, to take that off. And then that's kind of the key. So again, your SmartResume, we want to make it easy for you to be able to share this on our platform with employers. But we've always been, from day one, our promise is that this is something that really the learner is in charge of. And then just a couple of other things to share on Nato's SmartResume that you all will see if you have a SmartResume, is that we really want to do a good job of capturing your preferences. So one of our bedmark principles is that we have to be 100% opt-in. So you will never be contacted if you don't want your SmartResume to be found. Or if you don't even know you have a SmartResume, you won't be contacted because you haven't opted in. So any Walton College graduate that wants to use their SmartResume has to activate it. And then we also hope that you will fill out the preferences. And we're going to be updating this in the coming weeks. We've hired some additional designers to be able to even make this more user-friendly. But for Nato, she can actually say, I'm actively looking for work. Maybe she could say, I'm not actively looking for work, but I'm willing to hear from employers. Or Nato can say, hey, I don't want anyone to contact me. So she can still use her SmartResume separately, but she would be invisible to employers. And I think at the end of the day, this is actually a good thing because this way employers aren't contacting people in our network who don't want to be contacted. But at the same token, if Nato's really actively looking for work, by signaling that, she can make it easier for employers to find her. But everyone in our system starts off as undecided, and then it's kind of a double opt-in for people who want to actually say that they're actively looking for work. And just out of a spirit of time, I won't go through all these sections, but that's kind of our goal, is to make it really easy for Nato to be able to share her SmartResume either on our platform or off. Step 3, there's a help center. So, individuals are bound to have plenty of questions about their SmartResume. What we're doing has never been done before. So colleges have never actually given a certified resume. So we've tried to add in a helpful help section. And then lastly, we want to make it easy, and you'll see this really evolving over time. We want to make it really easy for NATO to be able to apply for jobs with our partners. And so today it's a jobs list where it's just a couple of clicks to go through. But what you'll see in the coming weeks and months is a pretty dramatic overhaul where we make it easier for individuals that are interested in information systems to actually just even connect with companies that are looking to hire information system talent. And so that's kind of how easy it is. It's just literally 2 clicks. And NATO, I'll give an example here with yours. If she wanted to apply for this chief data officer role with us, it's literally just 2 clicks. And that's how easy it is for people to share their smart resume with employers in our partner network. So NATO, I'm going to pause there. I know that we couldn't ask for a better smart resume than yours to demonstrate there.
Thank you so much.
There's just a couple of other slides I'm going to go through, NATO, but are there any other questions, or should I just jump back to the presentation right now?
I can see one question here from Aiden, I think. He said at UARC, are smart resumes available for graduates outside of the Walton College? If not, are there plans to expand to other colleges in the future?
Yes, so we've already expanded actually within UA Fayetteville to the College of Education and Health Professions. And then it's actually one of the challenges, since Walton was the very first college that signed on with us. We had just started with Walton and not the entire Fayetteville campus. At all of our other campuses, so UA Little Rock, UA Fort Smith, UA Pine Bluff, all of their students that are upperclassmen or graduates have a smart resume to activate. So we're hoping by the end of this year to be able to catch up the other various colleges of Fayetteville that weren't part of the initial pilot to give them smart resumes as well. Fortunately, we have an agreement with the entire University of Arkansas system, which is the press release that you see here. So there's nothing contractually stopping. And to be very, very clear, again, there's absolutely no cost to a Walton graduate or an upperclassman student to use Smart Resume. And the criteria right now is typically people have to have 70 credit hours if you're a Walton or a College of Education student to get a Smart Resume. And then you have to have at least 1 semester of post-grad, or beyond that, just being a graduate will qualify you. But yeah, we're hopeful the rest of Fayetteville to have that up. And then we've already got that done. We've created close to 130,000 individual smart resumes across Arkansas so far.
Awesome.
Okay. I'm going to do, so just a couple of other slides that I think would be valuable since this is really a focus on employers. So as we mentioned, since there's never been these individual certified pools of talent, there can never be that certifiedyindeed.com where we make it easy for employers to actually receive smart resumes, like how NATO, we just demonstrated how easy it would be for NATO to share her smart resume with Identify in our case to try to get an interview. But there's also just a tremendous amount of opportunities to provide value to employers. And so obviously with, whenever you're putting credentials on a blockchain, you never want to put, NATO's name and address and phone and email on an immutable ledger. So what we do in the University of Central Arkansas's case and in Walton Business's case is that they basically share with us a file of student record data that is legal and they're compliant and able to share. And then instead of putting NATO's contact information on Hyperledger, instead we provide what's called an identifier. So that's our alphanumeric encrypted key that's unique. And that is actually what's on the chain with her awards. So it's not, you'll never find NATO's name on the blockchain. It's just her identifier. But what makes it kind of added value for employers, and this is kind of hard to see, but on the left, when an employer looks at a smart resume, they don't know the gender, race, or ethnicity of the individual. So they just see at the very top in blue the identifier, so what's on the blockchain. And then they can click on the badges to see if that's someone that they're interested in. And then if it is, all they have to do is just click unlock. And then on the right example, you see it says gal smiley. So then the employer can now see the true identity of the individual and connect with them. So we're not only helping employers discover and connect with certified job talent, but we're also helping them demonstrate that they're not showing any unconscious bias in their resume decisioning, because the reason they decided that they wanted to contact this person, they had no idea if the person was a man or a woman or race or any of those items. It was just based on the certified skills. And that's definitely something that employers have been excited about. And then to give them even kind of advanced functionality where employers today can say, hey, only show me people in Fayetteville that are actively looking for work. So as we are now about to kick off our biggest push ever to notify people they have a smart resume, we're going to increasingly be filling up the kind of levels of talent in our system. So it's going to be really important for us to be able to give employers the ability to be laser specific of what type of talent they're looking for and where. And then it's not just, Walton College. So, or the health College of Education Health Professions. So an update from the last time that we talked last year's conference is that we partnered with the University of Arkansas Global Campus and Shorter College, which is a small HBCU in North Little Rock, and the state of Arkansas. And we won a competitive grant from the U.S. Department of Education. And this was a really big deal. So all 50 states applied for what's called the Reimagined Workforce Grant. And Arkansas was one of only 8 states to win. And it was a $13.5 million grant win. And what we're doing is really unique and special. So the University of Arkansas and Shorter College are providing skills-based training to people in Arkansas who are unemployed or have been dislocated from COVID. And so those 2 organizations are doing the training. But then as soon as someone completes their training, which is now happening, we are creating smart resumes for those people who have been unemployed but newly skilled. And then we're making it easy for employers to connect with them. And so this is really a great example of how we're leveraging Smart Resume to help people who are looking for a job, who've gotten reskilled, but making it easier for employers to find them instead of putting all the onus on the people who are out of work trying to find people that are looking to hire. So again, just a really great project. We couldn't have done this without the University of Arkansas and their leadership with Vice Chancellor Murphy and Tara Dreyer and a host of other great team members in the state of Arkansas. But we should all be proud. I mean, there were blue chip technology companies that applied for this grant with other states and they lost. And I think that the reason that we won is that we not only had great training partners, but we could show how we could connect the dots. So just 2 or 3 last slides, Nato. I think really some calls to action. If you're listening in here, you're probably asking yourself, or you're maybe already searching, do I have a smart resume? So as I mentioned earlier, we built smart resumes for every graduate of Walton going back to 1992. Also, if you're a current Walton student with at least 70 credit hours or a post-grad student with at least 1 semester completed, there should be a smart resume waiting for you. Just go to this website, findmysmartresume.com, and it should be pretty easy to search or activate. If you have any trouble finding your smart resume, please feel free to fill out the form that will pop up and we can help you with that. You will see some significant upgrades, which I'll share in a moment, of what we have planned. But just a couple of kind of closing thoughts, Nato, of kind of what have we learned. And I think this would be a benefit whether you're an entrepreneur or really anyone, but kind of in our 3 years, what we know is, as great as the blockchain technology is, and the audit purposes and the immutability, you have to be able to create a community that's willing to share compliant data, and it has to be easy. I can't stress this enough. We're actually doing a panel discussion with 4 university registrars in February at a registrars conference. And their core message was how easy this was for them to participate. So this would not work if we couldn't make it easy. And that's a key takeaway of what we learned, how to make it easier. It wasn't always easy to get started with us. Point 2, something like this has to be opt-in, and there's, as I said, no wiggle room here. Kind of the quickest way to kill this idea is if employers started contacting people who didn't know they have a smart resume or didn't want to use it. So as I mentioned, from day one, this has been 100% opt-in. Point three, digital literacy is just a huge issue. And by digital literacy, I mean there are Arkansans that have never used a computer mouse before, much less knowing how to navigate our website and swap around sections of a resume. And so it's very purposeful that we've tried to be simple and spell things out. We are going to evolve that to make it even more mobile friendly. About 70% of all job applications today are coming from a mobile device. So the experience that you have today activating a smart resume and using it will be radically different 3 months from now. We're literally in the laboratory right now making those updates. And then fourthly, it's just hugely important to get employers engaged to understand how they would value this, benefit from this, so that this isn't just an academic exercise. And then lastly, just the importance of building something that's interoperable. Most people on this are probably too young to remember this reference, but before streaming or DVDs, there was video cassettes, VHS, and then there was also a rival format called Betamax, and they kind of duked it out, and consumers kind of were just frustrated because they just wanted one way that worked. What you will see in digital credentials is what we want to avoid is that happening times 1,000. There can't be 1,000 different blockchain kind of standards. There can't be 1,000 different badge standards. So that's why we've invested a significant amount of time in trying to follow an industry standard, not our own, but so that people like Nato have the ability to not only offload their smart resume credentials into a preferred mechanism, but they can also upload onto their smart resume as well. And so you'll really see us pushing about interoperability and focusing on those standards. And then the very last slide, like people have asked, what are our plans? We're in the process right now of adding on national partners. We've got some exciting announcements coming up towards the end of this year into next year on that front. As of right now, we're updating the UI and UX and adding some really exciting employer features to make it easier for employers to find talent. And then lastly, for any employers out there, there's no gotchas here. You have free access to Smart Resume through May 2023. Just sign up on the link there at the bottom to get your free account. And I think that's probably it. I don't want to overwhelm everyone on the call. I'll leave my slide up here for a second, and then I'll stop sharing with my contact details. But we're really excited to partner with Walton College from literally from day one, and then bring in other great partners like Arkansas Tech, Arkansas State, UCA, clearly with Nato's amazing smart resume. And we're excited to see kind of where we'll be a year from now with the great support that we have from our partners. So Nato, I'm going to stop sharing it from there and just open it up to any questions anyone might have.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wengel.
Yeah.
I'm going to check if there are other questions.
Okay.
Apparently there are not. So if anyone have a question. All right, there's one popping up. If I submit my smart resume to an employer as a PDF, how do they verify my badges?
Yeah, it's a great question. So that's one of the things we're working on is it'll either be in the form of, we'll be adding a QR code or a separate link to be able to go back to have a real-time link back to the chart. So that is obviously the limitation of most PDFs, the standalone. So you will have the ability, in addition to a PDF, to, as I mentioned, also just separately offloading the badges. And then within the badges themselves, we meet the Open Badges 2.0 issuer protocol. So embedded in the badges is an identifier to you, demonstrating that those are your individual awards itself. But that's kind of the plan over there on how that works and how it will work.
There is one more question.
Yeah.
Are you planning to add other universities from other countries as well as part of the ecosystem?
Yes, and so there's, I think our first approach, and to be clear too, let me step back. So if you have a degree from another school, you have the ability today to manually type that in. It's not verified at this time, but you can put that in there. And our employers understand that right now it's Arkansas schools. In the coming weeks and months, there will be universities outside of Arkansas, but most likely just within the United States. Pardon me, but I think any schools that are a part, and there are a number with the IMS Global Learning Consortium, we are following their standards. And so that's who we plan on reaching out to first, are the international universities that want to follow the comprehensive learner record standard. And the vast majority um, of kind of CLR-based solutions are leveraging the chain in this. So there's usually a good overlap of a school that's not only looking to issue blockchain-based credentials, but also want to have them on the comprehensive learner record format, so that it's not just one school issuing it, but it's easy for an individual learner like Nato to be able to add in different information. And to be kind of a final point, the way that Nato will do that is she will know what her identifier is from both the Walton College, and she will also know her identifier from the University of Central Arkansas. So she'll be able to decide herself which smart resume of the two she wants to be the primary one. And so she'll be in control of managing her credentials that way. So that way, UCA and the University of Arkansas don't have to worry about kind of, okay, how do we connect together? We make this learner initiated. If that makes sense.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I think that's it for the questions here. But I wanted to ask, so what about my job skills that I kind of have from other companies? So how do I integrate those into my smart resume?
Yeah, so there's two ways. So one, there's skills and abilities, and you have the ability to put in information. Our next generation will be requesting certification of your competencies. So we're in discussions with several, I'll say, national skills-based organizations that can attest to an individual's skills and competencies. And so you'll either be able to claim and bring in proven skills that you have. I think it's not a big leap to also then prove that you have the competencies. So that's not our plan to build a platform. I think there's a lot of great companies out there that have kind of the competency demonstration. Our goal would be to partner with them to make it easy for you to demonstrate that. And I think one of the most important things, and another thing that we're working on, is just creating a standardized skills taxonomy that both a job seeker can use and an employer can use to be able to speak a common language in terms of, okay, we're not just looking for a developer, we're looking for someone who's got, Flutter skills, or they are X or Y. And so that is our goal, is to kind of create an easier experience. So many people are on SmartResume on their mobile device, instead of having to type out a lot, kind of choose and put in, okay, clicking on, yes, I have this skill and this skill and this skill, just clicking with your finger, and then have a way of demonstrating that you have that skill. So if U of A can't attest to it, and you don't want to just leave it as a self-attestation, what are the partners where we can help you prove that? And so that's kind of the roadmap plan of what we're doing on that front.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There's another question. How similar are smart resumes to something like the IBM Health Pass? And would it be possible to expand the technology into something like a digital ID?
Yeah, so I mean, IBM's obviously doing amazing work, on the health pass, and then also I think just, they seem to be, on the forefront of wanting to, demonstrate that various protocols can be interoperable and speak to each other and consume, other credentials. And so I think certainly from the educational badge side, that's something that we're in discussions with right now with other projects, to be able to demonstrate that someone that has credentials in one state can either create a smart resume or merge it into a smart resume they have here. I think in terms of kind of a cross pollination of a health pass onto a smart resume, I think that's intriguing, or vice versa. We haven't gotten there yet. I think that right now, kind of our laser, really hyper focus is let's demonstrate how in the credential academic world we can merge things onto each other. And I think we've already shown even today how you could take your credentials, your academic credentials from us, and if another partner had a broader wallet, and let's say one part of the wallet was a health pass, the next part is credentials. As of today, you can move your individual Smart Resume awards into any wallet. It's just a matter of, is there a sophisticated enough wallet out there that's got a section for health passes, and that's a pretty cool idea, Aiden. And it's something we haven't had time to explore ourselves. You just have to be super focused to kind of continue to have the continued momentum to go. But I'm hopeful for that in the future.
Okay, I think that's about it, unless there are other questions.
Perfect. So now I'll just close with, so findmysmartresume.com. I'd encourage anyone out here, that's me with my sales pitch as the closing call to action. If you haven't already activated or checked, please feel free to go there. If you have any challenges finding it, sometimes it's just typos or questions, don't hesitate to reach out to our team in the web form, and our team will help get you set up. And we love the Walton College of Business and Dr. Lassany's team and everyone there, and we're excited to be a partner with y'all going forward.
All right, thank you so much. I'm loving my smart resume so far as well. So,
Good. I love it.
all right, thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Bye. Have a great day.